everybody, and welcome to the Tartar Zones Friday Night Contact. I hope you are all well. We have come to the end of another week, and as Nicholas has said in the chat, it's flown by, it's flown by. But we've got loads loads to discuss. Mostly it'll be about Disney. Disney has begun layoffs, and Disney Plus projects are either cancelled or not renewed due to cost cutting measures. Indiana Jones critics are not impressed, and it also receives a lukewarm reception at the Cannes Film Festival. Ironheart has been pushed back to 2024. The Powerpuff Girls live action, I think it was movie or TV show, whatever it was, is canned. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 released the trailer. We've also got a poster. Seth MacFarlane has quit Family Guy in support of the writer's strike, including other actors and actresses. Barry Keoghan drops out of Gladiator 2 due to other projects that's supposed to spell. Oh my God, I should have checked this before I actually put it up. But the funniest news is the fact that Lionsgate thinks that Dylan Mulvaney, yes, Dylan Mulvaney has been brought in by Lionsgate to help rescue their movie, which we will talk about it, but I find that quite funny. Also, Eddie Murphy is in talks to star in a live-action animated version of The Pink Panther. The Karate Kid 2 with Jackie Chan is rumored to be well, Jackie Chan's in talks to come back for as I said, come back for that Dylan Mulvaney thing is just had to throw me completely. Even when I wrote it up earlier today, I was like, a day for real? And that'll be the first topic, because I know Lee will have a lot to say on it as well. But I mean, if you think he's going to save your movie, yeah, that's not happening on any level whatsoever. What was I doing? See, it threw me off completely. But let's bring on my co-host for tonight. He's not who it is, the one and only problem being. But Lee, I suppose we have to start. I'll get her up the article, but we have to start this Dylan Mulvaney nonsense. Because apparently Lionsgate has hired him to help the movie. Apparently the movie is doing so badly that they're not going to make back the 30 million. It's only 30 million. Like, they won't even make back their 30 million budget. So the people at Lionsgate, the smarter, the suits, have decided that Dylan will be the one that will rescue this abomination. But they mustn't have been, they mustn't be keeping an eye on the Bud Light situation, because this comes across as absolute ridiculousness from Lionsgate. And we've seen, because of Dylan, there's copycats out there now copying the same mannerisms.
Yeah, I've seen, yeah.
And doing all that. We've seen that clip today. I mean, why in the hell would you hire someone in the first place that has no experience anyway in the movie industry? And second of all, Lee, I'll ask you this. Why would Lionsgate go and hire someone as controversial as Dylan Mulvaney? He has divided a society, as you know, and he's been criticized in a lot of circles, including the trans community. Let's say it as it is. Some of the trans community are absolutely, baffled by what Dylan's doing. They will actually even say that he's causing more harm than good. But can you get your head around this? I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous.
It's stupidity. It's corporate malfeasance, tone deafness. Corporations, Hollywood particularly, are completely out of touch with their audience, the general public. The Dylan thing is ridiculous. He's in 1 year gone from nobody on TikTok to meeting the president and becoming the spokesperson for everybody TQ plus, apparently. And yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised if there are trans people who are absolutely appalled by this level of so-called representation when it's clearly someone who's only in it for themselves. Every time he seems to pop up, he seems to use every opportunity to state that, oh, I'm here to sell this product to you that I don't even use myself. And isn't it awful how I'm treated? That always seems to be the underlying theme of everything he seems to do. And it's always incredibly cringeworthy. Lionsgate, it's a great filmmaking studio. I love a lot of Lionsgate films.
Same.
It's just a shame that they have to debase themselves with such a patently ludicrous little man.
Well, here it is. Here it is. Just in case anybody thinks I'm actually making this up, here's the article from the Mail Online. Now, I'm not really fond of the Mail Online myself, to be quite honest with you, but they're reporting on it, and this is what they say. We won't go into it all, but the articles are in the link description. So, movie studio Lionsgate hires Dylan Mulvaney to promote struggling Judy Blume's adaptation. Are you there, God? I mean, even the title of the movie, this is just so ironic. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. After it floundered at the box office, earning just 16 million in 3 weeks, the film hasn't come close to making back its 30 million budget at the box office. So Lionsgate done a last-minute paid partnership with Mulvaney. The influencer interviewed Bloom after she backtracked support for J.K. Rowling, and this is the main whole thing about it. So this person, Bloom here, was originally in support of J.K. Rowling, right? So the understanding or what I'm getting from this is that, well, this has affected my opinion because they were in favour of JK, which is absolute rush anyway, and they've brought in Dylan to interview this person to say, oh, it's all good, forget about this that they made about blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. So basically, this person, Bloom, here, is a chicken shit because they didn't stick by what they actually said and have retracted their support, backtracked on the support of J.K. Rowling. So this is why this is actually really happening. In Lionsgate minds, this is like damage control, but it's not really. Why would you still bring in Dylan is not going to save this movie. You're not going to make your money back. Obviously, the movie or the book that you're adapting is really probably not that good.
Well, I mean, it's the just to let you know. By the way, Noel, your audio is really, really bad. I could barely hear what you were saying. It was so distorted. You might want to go out and try and come back in again. Just thought you should know. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the old adage of all publicity is good publicity. That may have been the case once. It's not anymore. People are just sick and tired of all the virtue signaling, all the pretentiousness surrounding very controversial figures, to say the least. not controversial in the sense that they say things that we don't necessarily agree with, or they might say something a bit testy or whatever. No, it's testy. That's rather ironic. But it appears to me that they don't seem to understand that this is a huge cultural shift going on. Probably the most divisive times, certainly in our lifetime. And it's not by any means a small thing. This is a massive, major shift in culture. There is a culture war. I don't care what anyone says. There is one. We are in a fight for something that is fundamental to the Western world, particularly. And for these studios and these huge elites to keep promoting and pushing these highly divisive issues, which are dangerous, particularly to younger generation kids, to women, to gay and lesbians, to straight people, to people with religious beliefs, non-religious beliefs, lots of people who just want to get on in life and are already struggling with the cost of living. And then we have these sort of very out of touch elite types sort of ordaining to talk down to us. Not particularly a good image to really link to your studio. Stick to making films. If you want to promote your films, there are many more traditional ways to promote your movies. You can also hire all sorts of controversial people if you want, as long as it's relevant to, I don't know, the film you're making. I fail to understand what his link is. As far as I can read, I'm not entirely sure. People can correct me, but I have a suspicion that Dylan in particular is perhaps struggling with his current beliefs and his perhaps religious beliefs. Not entirely sure, don't know, but I think that there is some connection there. But ultimately, is that the case? I mean, is he just saying that he has a belief in God or something, but doesn't really? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, because this guy just seems to be absolutely devoid of any integrity whatsoever.
He's none.
Yeah, I just think it's very strange that you want to promote a film, which I assume, because I don't know the book, I don't know the film, but I assume has an element of integrity to its meaning, and yet you hire someone who is completely superficial and cannot be trusted, because they have absolutely zero, as you say, zero integrity, really. So to me, I just find the whole thing very suspicious. I don't know who's backing him. I mean, you've got an invite to the White House. Clearly, he's got big money backing him, and for what?
Because he pushes this agenda that they're trying to get out there and pushing this crap on their kids.
Yeah, but
the people that are behind them ought to be ashamed of themselves. But Dylan himself as well is complicit, because he's going along with this. He's a useful
idiot. He's a useful idiot. And once he's served his purpose, like everyone else,
they'll dump him.
He'll be dumped. Absolutely. Yeah. And then he'll have to live out the rest of his life trying to work out what he's done to himself. And if you think that this is just going to stop at the odd nose job and tuck here and tuck there, no, we've seen this before. There'll be more, and then the decline happens. We've seen it time and time again. I don't want that to happen to him. For all his flaws and his deviance.
I think he isn't. I think he does. Look, he comes across, when I seen him, and I've been watching videos of him, he comes across. Listen, he has a lot of energy. He does come across as someone that is seeking the limelight. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. This is the way society is today, unfortunately. People do seek the fame, the money train. And he just comes across as that. I mean, I've seen his whole spiel that he did on The Price is Right, where he was dancing around like a fucking lunatic, like for about 10 minutes. Like, he just wouldn't stop bleeding dancing. Like, so he's I don't know. Maybe something happened during his upbringing or something, and he didn't get enough attention. But this screams to me of a guy who's desperate for attention, and to me, it is sad. I think that is sad. In fairness, but there is a sinister element to it. Is my audio still cracking up?
Yeah, it was. It was.
I don't know what's going on tonight.
Do you want to pop out for a bit and then hop in and just
I don't
leave
think
me a
it's
subject?
that. I think it's every time I try to share something, I'm bleeding sweater.
Yeah,
it's mad. Am I still cracking right now?
Not right now, no.
Right, grand. Well, here, I mean, unless we've got anything else to add about him, I just don't think he's going to bring in the money that they expect this movie to do. And at the same time, as I said, the person that's behind this supported JK originally. And it's very interesting now that Dylan is the one that interviews them.
These people always check the weather whenever they open their mouths. You know, yeah. I can't deal with people like that.
No.
Pick on what side you're on, stand by your principles, and fight your corner.
Exactly.
Don't back and forth on all these things. Just make your bloody mind up. And quite honestly, I think the only best way really to deal with someone like Dylan Mulvaney is to ignore him rather than keep addressing him. But there we are. I know it's difficult, but I think if we all made a concerted effort.
Well, in fairness, you know, you have to bring it because it's getting into the movie industry now. We do talk Hollywood, and I saw that and I said, you know what, I will be interested to bring it up, but you're right.
Yeah. We just keep punishing them. Just keep taking your money elsewhere. You know.
Exactly. And we will be talking to Disney a little bit later on, but I wanna bring up something here very interesting because the next thing that I'm about to share, Lee will remember this. I remember that growing up as a kid. It was a pretty iconic British movie. And I remember even when it was released in America, this movie became a cult classic, an instant cult classic. And that is The Full Monty, folks. Now, you're asking, why am I bringing up The Full Monty? Oh, no, don't tell me they're doing something ridiculous. Well, The Full Monty is coming back as a sequel TV series. Now, before I throw the poster up on the screen, I just want to make clear, though, firstly, that the original cast have all signed up to come back, right? But I do have an issue with this. I don't know what Lee's opinion is going to be on it, but I'll just throw the poster up there and hopefully I don't crack. So there you go, The Full Monty. So this is the original poster, and this is the new poster, and it's going to be on FX. And the original cast, so Robert Carlyle and all of the cast are coming back for this new show. And of course, we're going to have some new characters because obviously they've all gotten a little bit older. Now,
she's not going to be irritating.
Here's my problem with it. The movie for me was a one-off and always was a one-off, but it was a cult classic. I just feel bringing these characters back and doing a sequel all of these years later, I just think if you were going to do a sequel to The Full Monty, the time to do it was when after the first film became an instant fucking hit, and then you did a sequel to it where they're probably traveling around the UK or whatever, or they become famous and they travel around America and all, something like that. That's when you should have done the sequel, in my opinion. There seems to be, and I said this a couple of weeks ago, I don't know where Lee stands on it, we will get his opinion, but here's my thing. I said this a few weeks ago during the member stream. I says, I have a worry after the success of Maverick that Hollywood was going to go down this sequel parade thing. They were going to concentrate then mostly on sequels. And that seems to be the case because we're going to be talking about Gladiator 2 as well. Well, there's not much to say about except that the Irish actor that was in the Banshees of Inish, whatever the fucking movie was called. I watched it. It's a horrific movie, but I mean horrific in a good way, but it's a bleeding horrific movie. But there's a particular Irish actor that was supposed to be in Gladiator 2, and he's not. He can't do it now because he's got other projects. But there does seem to be this thing of doing sequels. We have a Chicken Run sequel coming, and we're going to be talking about Jackie Chan. Apparently, he's coming back for Karate Kid 2, so that's another sequel. Lee, first of all, where do you stand on the Full Monty movie? Anyway, did you like the movie to begin with? And if you did, what's your feelings on this bleeding sequel TV show that's going to be on FX, right? Which is not really, let's be honest, FX is not one of those channels that you go, oh, it's on FX, we got to watch that sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it was around that time when we had a slew of very similar like movies to Full Monty.
We had the Calendar Girls as well.
Yeah,
didn't we,
you had all these sort of this new breed of British films which were all cheap, really. I mean, it was fine. It wasn't really my kind of thing. I thought it was okay.
I was into the photo.
It had some good moments, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, there was the Calendar Girls, Kinky Boots. You know, it was all those sort of films at the time, and it just looked like, is this the best we can do? That's what I thought. You know, you had that, and then you had Billy Elliot, and you know all these other sort of things, and it just seemed to be like quite a desperate bid for Britain to say, you know, remember us? We made cinema once.
Yeah, he's bloody good at it though. That's the thing. He's bloody good at it. Like the Irish. I wish Irish and British cinema was respected more.
Well, it's very understated, isn't it? I mean, it's cheap, right? We do cheap cinema. I mean, we do. We scrape.
Well, we don't have the budget, the big budgets like Hollywood, though. But we do make good movies, man.
Well, don't we? Think about how much money comes into the UK because we film a lot of Hollywood movies
here.
In the UK,
Game of Thrones as well, and House of the Dragon.
I don't know if that's particularly true. I think it's a case of we don't have the same attitude or mentality like American producers do. They can raise money in a heartbeat. You know, I think in Britain you're more like, would you mind, please, if you could, you know, fund my film? You know, just a few pounds would be all right. I think that attitude sucks. I think, you know, that our cinema has suffered because of it. That's just my opinion anyway. But anyway, yeah, I think you're right. I think there is an element of memberberry addiction in Hollywood. They can't create anything new. I think this is more akin to, I mean, if you think about America and their cinema pool to draw from is somewhat grander than ours. So, you know, Karate Kid, we ended up with Cobra Kai. You know, we get the bloody Full Monty. I mean, really? I don't know. I just think it's a bit desperate. I don't really care enough about these characters to see where they're up to and what they've been doing. And I certainly don't want to see them naked at all. Thank you very much. I would be much more happier if there was, let's say, a sequel to Spinal Tap, the reunion tour. Can you imagine? That would be great. Yeah, that would be fun. I mean, that would make sense. Really.
I wouldn't mind a sequel to The Doors as well. I know it's just a movie, but and I know they showed Jim Morrison died. I'd actually love you know the way they like to do biography movies. I know they did The Doors, right, and they showed them, but I'd love them to do another one. It's a pity Val Kilmer is the way he is. He's not well. And
he certainly doesn't look like Jim Morrison now.
But he doesn't look like Jim Morrison now. But that movie, man, listen, right?
I don't know how you could do a sequel when the guy died. Yeah,
I know he did, but I don't know because we don't see the thing about it is because he died so young and stuff like that. We've got the concerts that we have on the platforms that are on, but he was an artist, man. There
is only one musical biopic that before the pandemic happened was going to start being made. I don't know if they're still making it now or not.
What is it?
It was the biopic of Jeff Buckley, one of my absolute favorite singers. It was a guy who played Dorian Gray in Penny Dreadful. I was going to be playing him, and he's perfect casting for it. So I'd really like to see. But yeah, look, it's so dour and British, isn't it? I mean, it really is. I mean, if this is the best we can come up with, I just think it's a bit sad. I do. I think it's a bit sad. I mean, it might be good. It might be. I have a feeling all the new characters they're going to bring in are just going to be unbearably, agonizingly awful.
I've got a funny feeling as well. This is why I'd be against it. This was a product.
Oh, look at those old white men. They're so
it's a product of its time, though. I did enjoy it. I thought in that period of British filmmaking, because you did make Bridget Jones and stuff like that. I do agree with you. There was an element of we don't really give a crap. Let's, but these movies ended up doing very well, and they did become cult classics. I mean, even Bridget Jones is a cult classic now. I mean, I even like the first one. I'm not going to lie. I mean, the second one was absolutely dire, and I've never watched the third one. The only scene I like in the second one's where she's in the prison. When she's in Thailand, is it in Thailand? She's in a prison in Thailand or something, or she's in a prison, Bridget Jones, and there's a prison scene, and it's bleeding deadly. It is. It's funny, but listen, man, you did About the Boy was out at the same time as well. I mean, you still do. I mean, I like those movies. I don't know. Maybe I have a soft spot for British film, but I love British and Irish film. I have to be honest. I think when we do actually make a great movie, it's a bloody great movie, like in fairness. But we can make some crap as well, let's be honest. But here, talking about biography movies, just before we move on, I want to put this up on the screen real quickly. Because I watched this movie years ago. And it's about Ian Curtis, Joy Division. I don't know if there's any Joy Division fans in the house, but I absolutely adore
Control.
Joy
A great
Division.
film,
right?
Yeah.
This movie, right? I was crying, man. I was crying because he had epilepsy, right? And at the time, epilepsy, especially in the times that he was growing up in, was very bad, and it affected his mental health. And on the eve of going on the American tour, he decided to end himself. And it's a brilliant movie. The guy that plays Ian Curtis, man, nails it. But see what he went through, and don't get me wrong, he wasn't a perfect human being. He certainly wasn't. But to see how his epilepsy affected him, to see how that translated into his music, because you listen to his songs now, right, and listen to the lyrics, it all makes sense, man. And this is a great movie. If you like his biography movies, because Americans do them, and they kind of shy away from the nitty gritty. This movie doesn't shy away from the nitty gritty at all, and you get to see his whole life unfold in this movie, and it's just so sad, man. The ending of this movie is so sad, but the music, I don't know if any. Lee is a Joy Division fan, so he knows how great that music is. But if you've never checked out that
lost
music,
control again.
Yeah, his voice is just so unique, man. Go and check him out, man. He got some cracking tunes. And as I said, on the eve of the going on the American tour, it just got too much for him, and unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But it's a great movie. So if you like your biographies, I would recommend that. So now I'm at the kind of bumming everybody out. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do something slightly different this week. So we've done 3 topics now, right? Well, 2 main topics, and then we briefly spoke about Gladiator 2, about the actor. Yeah, it's not big news. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put up a video clip, a funny video clip, just to break it up into sections, but also because this is the funniest thing that I have seen. I showed Cheryl today, and she absolutely said this was something that wasn't on our 2023 checklist, but it was definitely our bingo card, she said. But this is brilliant. Now, what I'm about to show you is on TikTok, and it's from Brian Monarch. Brian Monarch Comedy. Now he has his TikTok channel scrolled across the video anyway, but I want to give him the extra shout out as well. And the video is in the link description as well. So if anybody's on TikTok or at and you want to go and follow this bloke, I'm telling you, it'll be well worth it after you watch this video. I'd even sign up to TikTok just for this, right? And what I'm about to show you is the funniest thing you're ever gonna see. I'm not messing. So, are there any fans of the Wizard of Oz in the house? Right. Well, if you're a fan of the Wizard of Oz, you know the song "Somewhere Over the Rainbow." Well, someone has basically. Well, I'll just play it, and you can see it for yourselves. So this is Brian Monarch's comedy on TikTok. If you want to go and follow him, go ahead after this video.
Where over the rainbow bees fly, fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I?
Oh man, when I saw this today, I was just like, oh no way, man. And I've got a couple of other clips to show you later on, not from Brian, but there's another thing that I want to show you later on. But let's get into the main topic that we have for you tonight, and that's the Disney stuff, because there's a lot. So I want to start off with, hold on, why is this coming on again? Stop. Volume. Right. So we might as well start off with Indiana Jones first, and then we'll work our way to the cost-cutting measures that Disney are doing. Now, why am I bringing up Indiana Jones 5 first? Well, Disney is in a lot of trouble, and they really need Indiana Jones 5 to do well. But if the early indications that we've seen are to be believed, then Disney, I should say, is in serious trouble. And why are they in serious trouble? Well, I'm going to show you this first. The Rotten Tomatoes score. Actually, you know what I'll do, because I said I would check it live. So I'm going to do that, because it's only fair that I check it live, because it was on 43% earlier today, but I've got a funny feeling that it might have went up, and I did say I'll do it live. So earlier on, only the critics, because it had its worldwide premiere last night at the Cannes Film Festival. Harrison Ford got very emotional before he got a huge standing ovation before the movie dropped. And then after the movie, the standing ovation was a little bit more muted. But again, Harrison Ford was a wreck. There you go. So this is the live Rotten Tomatoes score. Now, I found out something very interesting, by the way, when I was doing this, right? I don't know if YouTubers know about this, but I'm going to show you. So 23 reviews, and it's got a 48% on Rotten Tomatoes. But if you click in here, right, I don't know if it's popped up on the screen for you there. Yes, it has. So you click in here, right, it's 48% all critics. Then you tap over to the top critics, and they've only given it 33%. So I don't know if anybody knew this little thing here, But there you go. There's the top critics gave it 33%. So Fresh 6 gave it a fresh, 12 gave it a rotten, and they're the top critics. And then all the critics, 11 fresh, so that'd be the shill. What critics are coming in now, boosted up the score a little bit, and we got 12 rotten. Right? So Indiana Jones on Rotten Tomatoes with the critics is not doing too well. Also on there's a couple of reviews. Now, I have seen one today saying that this is a great movie, right? And it's only one review that I've seen. But I want to show you this review, and it's a screenshot of the headline of the review, because I could tell you now, Kathleen Kennedy, someone seriously has to make the decision that needs to be made, and that is to sack this woman. She hasn't got a clue. Apparently, again, interfering with Indiana Jones. Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Oh, apparently as well, there was a muted reaction to every time Phoebe Waller-Bridge was on, because she edited the script, as you know. A couple of the jokes fell flat completely. Apparently, during the Cannes Film Festival, there was murmurings among the audience. This movie has gone down like a ton of bricks with everybody that was at the Cannes Film Festival. But this review is probably the most scathing of them all. And this is it. Right here. And this is by Robbie Collins. And I'm probably breaking up now, am I?
No, not too bad.
Grand. Is it up on the screen there, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, so Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Cannes 2023 review. A shabby counterfeit of a priceless treasure. 2 out of 5. Ford gives it his all, but while the 3 original films moved like page turners, this 5th installment is painfully short of spark.
Mm-hmm.
So, Lee, they've got the Little Mermaid coming out next, right? But they've also got the Little Mermaid coming out as well, right? Peter Pan and Wendy recently came out, and that's kind of gone under the radar, so I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing. But just on Indiana Jones, before we get into the wider problem, because Disney, wait you see the amount of shows they've cancelled, it's a shit show, right? But on this movie was seen by some within the company to be the one that would turn it all around and probably put Disney back on the right track. But with what we've seen from all the media reviews, because it's worldwide premiere from Cannes, it's not looking good, mate.
Yep.
You said, are we surprised? No, but I think we were all still hoping deep down that maybe they'd deliver something decent. But it looks like that this movie is going to fall short of that. What are your thoughts?
It's Disney. Kathleen Kennedy. What more do you want to know? I mean, these people couldn't find both arse cheeks with, both hands tied behind their back. It just continues to baffle me. The whole thing just continues to baffle me. Why do you bring these things back just to kill them? You spend all this money making something that people didn't even ask for, just so you can destroy the hero. I mean, it seems like a weird fetish. It's like an addiction or something. I can't think of any other thing. It's just weird. And then I heard as well that people who'd been to the screening gave it a negative review because of all the messaging in it. And of course, Phoebe Waller-Bridge was the thing that came out as the most complained about thing. You know, like, what was it?
Why do people like Phoebe Waller-Bridge fail upwardsly? She clearly is failing upwards.
She ticks the boxes, but I mean, this is what Indy said in the film. Apparently, he said, "Oh, I used to fight Nazis," and then she said, "Yes, and you also colonized."
No, you stole from indigenous people.
Yeah, that kind of. I mean, just lay it on thick and see what happens. All right, we are tired of hearing about it. No one alive today, in the Western world, where people of different ethnic backgrounds are struggling because of colonialism. They are the beneficiaries of the modern world with modern medicine, modern laws, modern education, modern media, modern technology, life extension. You know, I just can't grasp how we're still harping on about historical injustices or whatever. Everyone had their turn. Get the fuck over it. I'm sorry, it's done, right? If we want to sit here and complain about all these things and, you know, ask for money for the reparations, I should be in for the tune of about 20 odd million, right?
Yeah, same here.
There was some guy.
You know, we could all.
Well, yeah. Look, I mean, you know, I'm British, Jewish, gay, whatever. You know, I mean, okay, so I could ask for money from Rome, money from France, the Normans, money from the Vikings, so that's Denmark, money from Germany, but I think a larger sum from Germany. And I think, well, you know, whatever else, I can probably ask some money from the UK as well for the homophobia.
That's it, man. We'd be all rolling in the money.
I mean, where does it end? You don't see me going out screaming about it. You know, I could have done. Actually, my family could have got money from the German government, actually, because my mother was one generation from Auschwitz, the Auschwitz survivors that her parents were. But she didn't take that money. I'm not taking that money. Why would I want blood money? I don't want that money. It's not going to bring anyone back alive, is it? Exactly. And so again, just go, you know, went off on a tangent there, but bringing it back to this, what does this messaging actually do? Who does it help? What is it for? How does this in an action film, a Disney action film, which is supposed to be fun, light, rollicking roll-up, why are you putting this stuff in there? Who does it serve? What purpose does it bring? How does this entertain anybody?
And this is the impact it's had now, because multiple titles are being removed from Disney Plus for cost-cutting reasons, including Willow, Big Shot, Timmy Failure, Turner and Hooch, The Mysterious Benedict Society, The World According to Jeff Goldblum, and there's an even bigger full list. Because the shows that they create themselves are not making money. They can't afford to even keep them on their platform, so they're removing them. And all of these shows that I mentioned as well were all supposed to get another season, but never got another season as well. So they've all been canned on top of that. So not only have they been removed.
Is it for cost-cutting reasons or because it's bloody embarrassing? You know, I mean,
well, Turner and Hooch, 90% of their listen, I'm not. We know we bang on about how bad Disney Plus is, but I actually like Turner and Hooch. It was a good legacy show. I mean,
legacy stuff. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the modern, you know, the modern shows that they're releasing.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So, how about if you want to save, if saving money is your concern, Disney Plus, stop spending it on crap and stop making crap. The only reason you're still making money is because of your legacy stuff, nothing because of, you know, anything new that you're producing, because it's all shit. So once you stop making shit, you'll be amazed how much money you're saving. You'll be amazed how many billions you can make if you make good content. It's not that hard. Stop hiring idiots.
Just like Nintendo did with Illumination with Super Mario
Take
Brothers movie.
the hint. Take the hint.
It's simple. Listen, we've been preaching this for years, though. I mean, they still haven't learned their lessons.
No.
Like, how much more money do you need to lose before you finally cop on? I mean, I never thought. Look, today on a member stream, I admitted that I got it wrong, and I'll do it here again, right? Just to be fair, because this is the type of person I am. I said, and Lee will remember this actually. I said I didn't think Disney would get to this state because they had their fingers in too many pies, right? But the problem is those pies are also putting out crap content. I never thought I'd see the day where Disney would get to this, but it's that bad as well that they've actually closed down their attraction as well. That cruiser, that, what was it, the hotel place, is it the Star Cruise, or the place that they recently built and made a big deal about? They've closed that down as well. Remember, they're having all sorts of problems in Florida as well. It's not looking good for Disney. Disney are actually in serious trouble. 4 million subscribers. Remember, we spoke about it last week, myself and Lee. 4 million subscribers left in the second quarter of this year. Right? That's only 4 million in the second quarter. Right? We're not even through the whole year yet. Right? Disney is in big Star Cruiser. That's the one. They've closed down the Galactic Star Cruiser crap. Right? It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
They've had to close it down because it was too expensive anyway, the money they were looking for, the cheek of them. But it's gone. It's gone. Disney are in serious trouble. And you look at their slate that they have coming, right? You've got the Little Mermaid and they've got other stuff, right? It's not going to say this is it now. This is it, right? To those 4 million subscribers, fair play to you, right? And here's the thing. If people are getting fed up with Disney Plus, I wouldn't normally say it. Just unsubscribe until they get the message. It's the only way that you're going to get them to course correct now.
And we've
look at Budweiser.
We've proved exactly. We proved it works. Look at exactly like I was about to say before interrupted. It's true. Boycotts can work. Budweiser has absolutely definitively proven it. All you need is the will to do it, and all it needs is enough people to say, you know what? No, not anymore. Simple as that. I mean, you might like your stuff on Disney Plus. I would say to you, if you can go and get secondhand all the physical media that you can. And then even if you can, or even if you can't, just unsubscribe, even if it's for a few months, because that will hurt them.
It does, even if it is for a couple of months, till your favorite shows come back. That's what a lot of people are doing as well. They're unsubscribing until their shows come back, and I think that's a great idea. So I would actually encourage that. I'm not all for boycotts because I don't normally think boycotts work, but Lee is right. We have seen, especially this year, that they do seem to be working now. They didn't work before, but they're working now, and I think the reason why they're working now is because they're in a lot of weaker position now than what they were back then. They could fob off all the boycotts and stuff like this. They can't do it anymore. Disney is really in a perilous position right now, and I never thought I'd see the day. And I am delighted because I want Disney to go back to what Disney used to do, which was make great movies and great TV shows. And they did, at one time, make a lot of great stuff. When you seen the Disney logo in a movie, you knew you were actually in for a treat. Now, when you see the Disney logo, you're wondering whether it's going to be a propaganda piece of crap or, well, it mostly is propaganda piece of crap. And here's another piece of propaganda crap from Disney Plus that's coming out in 2024, if there even is a Disney Plus in 2024. But this Ironheart nonsense is coming out in 2024 on Disney Plus. And look at the state of that absolute hack of a whatever that is. I mean, look at that. I mean, MCU is dead in my opinion. I'm sorry, but I know people disagree with me, but MCU is crap. And if this is what we're getting in 2024, well, you can keep it. And it's under the Disney Plus brand. So again, Disney, this is going to flop, right? And also, there's other stuff that's happening as well. Miss Marvel is going to be killed off, apparently. And our so-called fans are all upset. But yeah, this Miss Marvel apparently has fans, but yeah, it's one of the lowest rated shows on Rotten Tomatoes, and apparently Spider-Man is devastated. Would you like to see the poster? I'll show you this ridiculous looking poster for this comic. So yeah, I think it's the comic. I don't think she's dying in the show. Not too sure. But Miss Marvel is about to be bumped off. And where's this comic? There it is. Right, when you see this poster, absolutely ridiculous. Here we go. Oh, still taking, still loading. So there you go. You can't obviously see that on screen there. So it's called Fallen Friend, The Death of Miss Marvel. And apparently all of her fans are absolutely devastated.
What, all 5 of them? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the lowest rated.
Who are these fans that we
those-
keep
they're
hearing
not
about?
even
I mean,
fans.
it's like in Doctor Who, you know, they keep saying, oh, the fans upset that Phasmin didn't happen. Like, no, the actual fans have gone away. These fans are a colonizing force. They are fake fans. They are activists. They're not interested in the product. They just want to go in and subvert everything to quote unquote queer the pitch, as far as I can see. These people have no clue about anything outside the contrived characters. You know, that they clearly don't buy the books, not in any particular number, you know, of volume. The real fans are going away now. They're gone buying anime or whatever it is, because basically they've sunk their entire comic book industry in the US. To say that these people are fans is so disingenuous. I'm very tired of hearing that. You know, real fans are under attack by people who've got absolutely no interest in comic book culture or no interest in comic book characters. You know, all this is about seeing themselves represented, and so they can bang their drum about it and go, yes, look, we've stolen this now, we've taken this back from the evil white patriarchy. That's entirely what that's about. And then no one buys it. I can't imagine. And how many I mean, if there's so many fans of this character, where were they when the TV show whatever was on? You know, it didn't get any viewers practically. I mean, there are 2 billion Muslims in the world. 2 billion Muslims in this world. Where were they? Why were they not watching Ms. Marvel on television, on Disney Plus? Where were they? 2 billion Muslims, and you couldn't even get a couple of million to watch your show. I mean, it just says it all, doesn't it? I mean, who's watching this? It's just for white liberals to virtue signal about this. Entirely what it's about.
And here's another thing. We spoke about this a couple of months back, actually. And we, at the time, I think we were all going, oh, for God's sake, now they've lost the plot completely. But you remember when they announced the live action version of the Powerpuff Girls? Well, it seems that someone has finally got some sense, because the Powerpuff Girls series is no longer being developed at the CW. So it's been scrapped. And I don't know if any of you grew up watching the Powerpuff cartoons, but I had a couple of siblings that did. So I used to watch with them. Very interesting cartoon for anybody that has never seen it. And actually, there's a few conspiracy theories on fan theories that are very disturbing about the Powerpuff Girls. But yeah, that's being canned. Lee, any opinion on Powerpuff Girls?
I'm glad they're not. I'm glad it's sunk. I don't want to see a Powerpuff live action movie. Who wants that?
No.
Nobody wants that. Bring the cartoon back, but just don't inject with all the nonsense.
Exactly. I wouldn't mind the cartoon coming back, but
what's
you're
the
right.
point of bringing something back if you're just going to change absolutely everything about it in the first? People don't want that. People want authenticity. They want the thing that they love. They want it back. You know, if something runs out and you've spent all your money buying it and then it stops, and then you can't spend your money on it, and then years later they bring it back. You want to buy that stuff. You want to spend money on that, and then it's just like, oh, but we've changed absolutely everything about it. Who wants that? Who wants that? A new audience comes along and goes, what's this shit? Because they don't have any connection to it, and it just doesn't take up. It doesn't work. They must be beginning to know this. Surely at some point the penny's going to drop and it's going to sink into the little pond, fermenting little bubbles from their tiny little brains, where the mush sort of separates, and the bits float to the top, and it's I mean, at some point you'd think like there's going to be some sort of chemistry going on up there that's going to go, you know what, I think this might be a really deeply unpopular idea, and maybe it's going to cost you a lot of money. I think maybe you just want to think about your audience for a change. Stop telling your audience we know what's best for you. Give them what they want. You don't have to bend over backwards to get it right. You just have to know your audience, understand your audience, value your audience.
But not only that, we've seen with Super Mario Brothers movie, and I keep bringing that up because I think that is the perfect example. That movie, I mean, that Super Mario itself has a lot of fans. But if you look at how well the movie has done, that wasn't just fans going out to watch that movie. That was people being introduced to that movie as well. Because remember, I grew up with it, right? So my age group would have kids now, right? They grew up with Mario, Super Mario and stuff like that. So they introduced their kids to that, brought their kids to see the movie. You know what I mean? That movie created new fans, and it's going to get a sequel, and I reckon the sequel will be even bigger. Again, it'll make a lot more money. But again, you are right. You don't have to bend over backwards for fans. But if you understand what your audience wants and you give them what they want, you will make money. You won't be in the situation that you're in. But we're told, oh no, you don't understand the product anymore. Oh no, you are this, that, and the other. They just have to resort to, when their product goes to crap. And I'm pretty sure when the shit hits the fan with Indiana Jones 5, James Mangold and co are going to be throwing their toys out of the pram, and there's going to be spats on Twitter and God knows where else. You know what I mean? Instead of just like admitting, okay, we didn't do it right. Okay, back to the drawing board. But they don't have that attitude. Their attitude is, well, we're in the wrong. We don't understand it. We're not fans.
Suck it up, fanboys. Let me drink all your tears. It's so ludicrous. It's playground level mentality. It's people who clearly didn't have a good time at school, and then they want to take it out on the rest of us.
It's revenge.
It is.
Revenge.
It absolutely is.
Yeah. Well, here's something that's really going to get a few eyebrows going. And after we cover this topic, I've got another little video to show you, which is going to be a bit of fun as well. Before we get to the two weird videos that I'm going to get into a little bit later on, which is going to cause a bit of a debate amongst people. But let's start with this, because I saw this today and I'm kind of like, you will see why.
Yeah.
So Eddie Murphy is in talks to star in a live-action CGI hybrid Pink Panther film. Jeff Fowler is set to direct. Right now, I'm a fan of the Pink Panther.
Hmm.
I'm a fan of the Peter Sellers movies.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan, and I was not a fan of the Steve Martin
Nope.
movie. It was an absolute abomination, actually. Those movies, right? I don't want this because I've got a funny feeling, and this is just me. I don't think Eddie Murphy is being brought in to play the Pink Panther.
Well, the Pink Panther doesn't say anything, so
No.
that would be
So
silly. Well,
he's definitely
he has said a few lines before, once or
Yeah.
twice, very
so
rarely.
he's either being brought in to play the inspector, or he's going to be playing another animated or maybe a character, a live action character on it. But I don't know. I mean, I just see years ago if this had happened, we probably wouldn't have had an issue with it. We probably would have thought, oh, that's an interesting idea. But the way Hollywood does things right now, are they hiring Eddie Murphy because they think he'll be actually good in the movie, or are they doing what they've been doing a lot recently, which is the race swapping?
The Steve Martin film proved conclusively that without Peter Sellers, there is no Pink Panther.
There isn't.
Unless you want to do a cartoon with the Pink Panther and the painter guy or the police inspector. I don't know if it was Inspector Clouseau in the cartoons, may have been, but it was very of its time, very 60s. It was very very, very funny. And barely a word spoken, if anything. It was a silent cartoon, really.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand how Eddie Murphy comes into it. The only thing that springs to mind is to play the inspector. But Inspector Clouseau is a white French guy. I'm sorry, that's.
And I'm not saying Eddie Murphy couldn't pull off a French accent or anything like that. But again, you'd have to question the motivation behind the casting. You know what I mean? Eddie Murphy's, let's be honest, Eddie Murphy's star has been dwindling over the years. I mean, it's even gotten so bad that he's doing another Beverly Hills Cop movie, which nobody asked for, but it's happening anyway. Do you know what I mean? So I just don't get this casting, to be quite honest, and it doesn't work without Peter. There is no Pink Panther without Peter.
Absolutely not.
Peter Sellers, and he's dead. So leave it alone. That's just the way where I stand on it, to be quite honest with you. Because Steve Martin, no, I don't know.
Unless it's going to be a completely new animal, where you have, like, let's say, like the Sonic the Hedgehog thing, where you got the Pink Panther running about in the real world, and then he's like a new character. That might be okay, but I don't understand. I mean, it's not going to be Who Framed Roger Rabbit, is it? I mean, I don't think it's going to have that level of charm. I think the Pink Panther it's an iconic character. It was huge in the 60s, 70s, 80s. I just don't think in the modern world, without the original creative minds behind it and the humor that was backing it and the Peter Sellers movies, I just think it's kind of, do you know what I mean? It's a bit of an anachronism now. I think the Pink Panther should be respected enough to be laid to rest at this point. I just don't see, unless they do cartoons that really capture the essence of the Pink Panther, and the music and everything. I just don't see it working. And in this day and age as well, I just would hate to think what they would do to the Pink Panther, quite honestly.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this now. I've got to be honest, but
hello,
we'll see what happens with it. And welcome to everybody that's joined us in the chat. So now we're going to go to the next bit of video footage. I'm going to remove this comment as well so everybody can see it. So is there any fans of the Thing movie
Hmm.
in the house? I know Lee is a fan just like myself. And there are any fans of Pingu out there? Yes, you're probably wondering why I'm bringing Pingu and the Thing together. Well, again, some fan out there has done something very unique. And this comes from the Twitter account All the Right Movies. And it's how the Thing might have went if it starred Pingu instead of Kurt Russell by Lee Hardcastle. And this is what we're going to play for you now. So I want you to sit back and enjoy this 2-minute video of Pingu's The Thing. I can't believe I'm actually putting that in the same sentence. Right, this is absolutely brilliant. Are you ready? Here we go. No, no.
Oh,
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Oh, I mean, that sort of stuff just is brilliant. I have to actually say that was very good for that, like 2 minutes. Brilliant. So so just to give the artist a shout out again, it was Lee Hardcastle, and you will find that Twitter account which I'm about to throw in the chat there. All the Right Movies is the Twitter account. So there it is there. If you want to give it a check out and share that video as well. But that
Show it
was
some love.
that was brilliant, and I just wanted to share that with you. So this is what I'm going to try do each week. See if I can find stuff like that I'll be able to show you and stuff, just to break up as we're talking topics, because we do chat quite a lot and just want to break it up a little bit and give you something funny. I have 2 other clips, but they're not fan stuff. This is stuff that happened in Hollywood a long time ago, which is very creepy, which we will get into. But let's get into our next topic of conversation. And just in case it replays, I just want to knock the sound down off it. So what is our next topic? Hold on, because we have them all in chat. We have a special little chat where we put all the articles and stuff. Oh, Lee did put up a video as well, a funny video, which I will show as well, just to be fair, because he did throw one in our little chat. And it is the guy that he showed me is actually quite funny. I actually followed the account as well. So we'll throw that in a little bit later. So we'll cover a few more topics, and then we'll get to that video, and then we'll do the other videos then right near the end. But let's get back into this. So as you know, there's a writer's strike, and now actors and actresses have joined the picket line, and one of them is this guy. And I do think we need to talk about this guy. Seth MacFarlane has joined the picket line and has quit Family Guy in support of the writers' strike. My point would be Family Guy has stopped being funny years ago, and he'd want to sack himself because, you know, I just find it quite cheeky that he's actually joining the picket line when his season 3 of the Orville was absolutely ridiculous. And as I said, Family Guy hasn't been funny in a good few years. And I'd even say the same about American Dad, which was my favorite one out of the whole lot of them. But the reason why I'm bringing him up is because a lot of others have joined, a lot of other actors and actresses have also joined the picket line. And, you know, the point that I made on the member stream, Lee, was that, you know, they've got some nerve, really, when they've been producing the crap that they've been producing the last few years, and especially these actors and actresses, because, you know, they're there for the money. It's clear, because if you are an actor or an actress that had any bit of integrity, right, you wouldn't be learning the lines of half of this shite that these writers give them in the first place.
Yeah, you throw it in the face.
What do you think of this whole writer's strike anyway? In the first place, do you think it's as ridiculous as I do? Because, in fairness, what have they actually written that deserves a pay rise over the last, since we be fair, 2016, right? It all started with that Ghostbusters movie, let's just say. Right?
Nothing. A bald, one-winged, half-dead, semi-paraplegic budgerigar that is 80 years old could probably write a better script than most people in Hollywood. I would say good luck. You know, I think this is perhaps going to benefit Hollywood in the long run, because especially if they've got any sense, which, you know, isn't looking too good, but hopefully.
Would you fire these writers?
I would take this
to get rid of them now.
This is now the time, and especially if the actors join in as well. Like, if we can get rid of a whole bunch of people in one go, that's great. It's so tone deaf. And like, why do you expect a pay rise when you produce not even 10th grade work? It's abysmal. I don't know how these people even have the right to call themselves writers. It's awful. You produce shit, and you should be called out for producing shit. Get rid of the activists. Those who join in on this strike. This is it. I'm not opposed to strikes by any stretch.
No, neither am I.
When I think it's justified. When it's justified. But in this case, I find myself on the side of the scum. Like, go in there, strike, break the line, show. This is the time for real writers to go, you know what? I don't want to side with these lunatics.
They call you a scab. They call you a scab. If you're a better writer than those people that are picketing, this is your chance now to showcase
pro scab in this case.
That's
absolutely.
It.
Such a solidarity. I don't want to be in solidarity with a bunch of useless hacks. Get in the bin, quite honestly. I just think now's the time for good quality to get back to doing some good work. I would like to think maybe all the good writers are so pissed off with being, you know, treated so badly or not paid to do the job, and, you know, being undercut by these hacks by Hollywood. Now, Hollywood should be on their knees groveling for the talent pool to return, quite honestly. And if this is the opportunity to do that, and actors as well, get rid of a few of them that overpaid, useless mouth breathers who are talentless hacks as well. Get rid of them. You know, bring a bit of star quality and get some people who keep their mouths shut. You know, don't tell us about, you know, how
Do you
the
know
plebs
what?
should
Just
live.
bring in people that actually love what they do, because a lot of these writers and people that are behind all of these shows that have flopped in movies. There's one thing that I have noticed with them all is they all hate to be where they are for some weird reason. They don't actually understand that they're in a privileged position and they've got probably one of the greatest jobs, and that's to create, you know, and they hate being in the job. So if you hate being in the job so much, why is even there in the first place? Why not do something that makes you
half,
happy?
not even half. I said most of them these days just are there because they just want to, you know, use it as a platform for their
Platform,
activism.
yeah,
You know,
that's it.
it's so insidious. I mean, you know, I kind of semi joke online quite a lot about how McCarthy didn't go deep enough. I think now's a really good time to be able to really weed out these uber Marxists, you know, and chuck them out. You know, it's gotten to the point where they're holding Hollywood and the audience to hostage. This is a hostage situation. Time to get rid. This is a really good time. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, I hate saying that expression. I keep bloody using it. They're costing Hollywood millions and millions of dollars when they were working, let alone on strike. So, you know, really, are they going to be any worse off? I don't think so. You're probably doing yourself in the best in the long run because you're not producing crap as much. So now is a really great opportunity, I say, to cut ties with a lot of these people and do it. Do it whilst you can. Save yourselves. SOS.
Yeah, I think it is an opportunity now to move these mediocre,
Not
propaganda
even
driven
mediocre. I mean,
writers.
sub-mediocre.
Yeah, I mean, all the artists are driven by their ideology and the propaganda, and you're right. Look at the franchises and the IPs that they've destroyed. This is the opportunity now to get some of these out of there. So if there's any budding writers out there that think they could do a better job, this is your chance now to go to the Hollywood bigwigs while all of these lunatics are out protesting. Get yourself noticed, you know, because you know we need more. I've said it, you know, and I'm saying it a lot more now. We need a lot more fan stuff, and we're seeing a lot more of it now. This is why I'm showing these little clips as well. I want to promote fan stuff like that. Might be only a couple of minutes long, but remember, there's love gone into that. You know, that was a fan project. There's love gone into that, and you know it means something to them. What we see on TV, we know that they don't give a crap about what they're writing because, as Lee has said, they use it as a platform. But let's talk about something that a lot of fans are looking forward to. And they dropped the trailer, and unfortunately, I can't show the trailer, but I can show you the movie poster. And by God, can I just tell you, the trailer for this movie was absolutely amazing. And this movie is going to be absolutely amazing. And it's only part one of a two-part ending. But Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 movie poster has been released. They also released the trailer. If you haven't seen the trailer, go and check it out. It's absolutely fantastic. Someone actually wrote, I've been a James Bond fan all my life, but these movies have left James Bond in the wilderness over the years. But this one, it just looks so much. It's a Mission Impossible movie, but it has James Bond vibes to it when you watch the trailer. But this is a movie I'm really looking forward to after the success of Maverick. I do believe that this Dead Reckoning movie, Part 1, will do the best in the box office out of all of the movies, to be honest, because I think there's such a hype now after Maverick. Fans can see that Tom Cruise's only objective is to make movies that keep fans entertained. And, you know, he should be rewarded, and he rightly was with Maverick doing so well in the box office. And I reckon this will do very well in the box office. First of all, Lee, are you a fan of the Mission Impossible franchise?
I wouldn't say I'm a fan. I mean, I'm a casual viewer. I don't even know if I've watched all of them. You know, I'm just like, oh, if it's on, I'll watch it. You know, I think it's fine. I think it's fun. I definitely think it gave James Bond, the James Bond franchise, a big run for its money. And this really has seemed to have taken its place, you know, as the premier sort of spy thriller franchise. And Bond is really struggling to kind of keep up, and it really shouldn't be trying to keep up with it. You know,
Yeah, Bond should be, in fairness, if we're really being honest here, Bond should be the superior, and then everything else that comes out, like Mission Impossible and the Bourne franchise, you know, yes, they're good in their own right, but they should never have surpassed the James Bond franchise, which unfortunately it did in recent years, especially the Mission Impossible franchise. I mean, after Mission Impossible 3, Mission Impossible 4 is a great movie. But they get better and better. I mean, Jesus, I didn't expect them, because I kind of cut off the original trilogy. But you'll see the first 3 movies are slightly different. And then by the fourth one, then there's a bit of continuity, I think. Isn't it the fourth one? I'm pretty sure it's the fourth one. I could be wrong there. But I think from the fourth onwards, there's an actual, you know, overall arc going through the movies, and it's actually a good franchise. I was very surprised. Ghost Protocol was amazing. I know it was. That, listen, I was blown away by that movie. What was the other one? Rogue Nation, wasn't it? That was a pretty good movie as well, man. I got back into this franchise big time. But yeah, I'm delighted for Tom Cruise. I hope this goes well, man. Because, you know, in the age of shit movies, it really is good to get movies like this, and movies that, you know, are just do what they do, which is entertain. Same with the Fast and the Furious X. Look, I'm not a fan of that franchise, got to be honest. I mean, I've seen the latest trailer. It does look amazing, but I mean, some of the stunts in it are just way over the feckin' top. But you know what? I get why people like those movies, because they're just a dumb bit of fun. You know, they're not supposed to be taken seriously. There's no politics in them or any of that other shit going on. So that's why people like them. I think there's 9 movies too many, personally speaking. It should have ended after the first one, to be quite honest with you. But it got 9 sequels. Well, 8, because unless they tied in Tokyo Drift now. But Tokyo Drift, I think, was a movie on its own, but I think they did bring back one of the characters from that movie, the main character, in the later movies. I'm not sure, because I lost interest. But I can understand why people like those movies. And it's the same with the Meg 2 is coming out soon. I loved the first movie because it was stupid, it was dumb, and it was everything, but there was no politic. It was just a great movie, and I can't wait to see the second one now. But they're the type of movie. But you see, if we were getting good movies and we were spoiled like we were back in the day, we wouldn't even give these movies a look in, to be quite honest. Yeah, they'd still have their audience, but they wouldn't be as popular as they are. They're only as popular as they are because people are desperate for some decent cinema. And I suppose the Fast and the Furious does what it says on the tin. It's fast and it's furious. So yeah, if you're into them, fair play to you. But yeah, that's that. We already covered the old Jackie Chan thing, so I don't know if anybody was a fan, but I'll get your opinion on it, Lee. So Jackie Chan's the return for the Karate Kid 2. Well, he's in talks to return for the Karate Kid 2. Now, I'm gonna just say out straight, I actually like the Jackie Chan movie, but I will make this point that in no way is it better than the original movie or the original trilogy for that matter. It was just a different take on it, and I do like Jackie Chan, so I have a soft spot for it. But apparently now he's in talks to come back and do a second movie again. As I was saying, this sequel thing seems to be an obsession now. Did you watch the Jaden Smith Karate Kid movie? And if you did, what did you think of it? And if whatever your opinion is, are you up for a second one?
No, I didn't watch it. I didn't see the point of watching it. Again, with the it's just inundation with remakes and reimaginings, and I'm so over it. It's been that way for like 20 years now, and it's dull. I haven't watched it, so I can't comment on whether it was any good or not. Jackie Chan is a fine I'd say a comedy action hero actor.
But he actually plays a serious role.
Yeah, I imagine it would be, but I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't care enough really about it. I like Jackie Chan. He's still pretty, fit for his age, and I don't know. I mean, for me, the Karate Kid franchise started with the original films and has culminated in Cobra Kai. Anything outside of that is really not the same thing. So I've really no interest in it.
I agree with you there on that one. But I do have a soft spot for it. I think it's a great movie. It's not as good as the original. Wasn't supposed. It's a different. Listen, what I like about it is it didn't try to imitate the first movie. What it did something different with it, and that's why I'll give it a respect that I give it. I can understand if there are people out there that don't like it.
Well, I think it would have been fine. I don't know if it's set in the same universe or if it's a reimagining, but I would have preferred it if it would have been Karate Kid and then subtitles something else, and then it's like, in the same universe, but it's different characters in maybe a different place. Different Gojo, Miyagi-Do is, or whatever it is, Dojo. That's it, not Gojo. Shows you how much I'm paying attention. Dojo. If it was a different dojo or something like that would have been fine. But when it's kind of trying to replace or be an updated version, it's kind of like, well, piss off. You're not. Stop being pretentious enough to think you're going to be better or improve what's already been a hit and successful. I kind of find that quite distasteful. So, look at the new improved version of art. Piss off. I don't like that. Just make it something else. Stop trading off everything that's been.
I do agree. There does seem to be a fascination with either reimagining sequels or prequels or stuff, and some of the sequels as well is kind of a joke. I mean, we got Beetlejuice 2 coming up as well. Remember, and there's a 30-year gap or something like that, or 23-year gap,
89 or something.
I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean.
I'm with Nerdaholics.
Did anybody even ask for a Beetlejuice 2 movie? I think at the time, yes, it would have been great. But now it's like the same with James Cameron. I mean, he brought back Avatar. I mean, why did you bring back Avatar for? Nobody even asked for a second movie. Anyway.
Well, it was a hit though, so you can't do. I'm with Nerdaholics. I'm looking forward to seeing Meg 2 because the first one was very serious. Very serious. The second one just looks like it's taking the piss out of itself.
I think the second one is going to take the piss out of itself.
I just want to watch it for all the
I did love the first one. I didn't think I would because I'm not. Jason Statham for me is a bit chalk and cheese. I mean, I did like him in the Transporter franchise, and I didn't mind the Crank movie. But he's not really an actor that. I really warmed to, but I loved them in the Meg. Even your woman, Ruby Rao, wasn't it? The first Batgirl. I mean, I thought she was going to be an annoying twat in the movie, but she was actually good in the movie, man. When she's actually given something and she's not preaching, you know, she's actually a good actress. I loved it. I even loved the scene with the little dog. I mean, and you seen it in the second trailer. You have the little dog in it again. And I thought this, yeah, I agree with you. I think this movie's going to take the piss out of itself. And I actually love that idea. I do, because I do agree with you. The first one, even though it had some funny moments in it, which it did, it was a bit serious. But I do like it. I hope they don't ruin this franchise now. I would like to see a trilogy and then just leave it there, because you're never going to get another Jaws. You know what I mean? Even though Hollywood are gunning to do that again. But leave that well alone. I mean, the first movie's a masterpiece. I mean, I could tolerate the second one. I mean, it has its moments, the second one. The third and the fourth movies are absolutely shocking. You know, but they've been gunning to do another Jaws movie. But like, do movies like this and you'll get an audience watch. Like what they did with Deep Blue Sea. Do you remember that when that came out? That was a clever movie. Now I know they did the second one, a B movie, and I think they done a third one as well. But the first one was absolutely brilliant. Remember Samuel L. Jackson gets eaten in that one. Do you remember the fucking shark comes out of the water and bleeding eats him alive?
Yeah.
Deep Blue Sea. That was funny. That had some moments in it. Samuel L. Jackson's character is giving a fucking speech about getting it out, and then the shark just comes up and fucking eats him. And then he's gone. Brilliant, man. But yeah, we're going to get a bit more serious now, because I've got something to show you that popped up on Twitter. Some video footage. Disturbing video footage. Now, when I mean disturbing, I don't mean like, you know, violence or anything like that. But what you're about to see was from a 19-year-old Demi Moore. Now, why is this disturbing? Well, it's disturbing because I've noticed, I don't know if you've noticed, Lee, but over the last couple of weeks, especially, I've noticed there's a lot of Twitter accounts that are putting up old video footage of all of these celebrities doing some questionable stuff on camera. Now, as you know, most of these actors and actresses nowadays, especially these like Demi Moore, are all activists and have come out and, you know, they come out and they have their causes. This is a video of Demi Moore that I never thought I would see. But what you're about to see here is Demi Moore, 19 years of age apparently, in this video, kiss a 9-year-old on the lips. Now, I'm going to put the sound on because you're going to listen to the background as well, right? And I'm actually boiling here before I even play this. Because the people that, number one, the person that took this video footage should be locked. And the people that are screaming in the background encouraging this should be locked up. So this is Demi Moore as you've never seen her before. I don't know if anybody's ever seen this clip. But what you're about to see is quite disgusting. And no adult, remember, she's 19 years of age, so she's legally an adult. This is a child. And this is what she does to the child.
It's awful what she did. Shut up, Sean. She didn't kiss. She just... Okay, one more time. And if you were anyone, just... Why do you think you have your best out? I don't know. Maybe just because I love them all and I hope they all love me. We do love them. And I love them.
I think it's for the publicity. You're out of your.
So, weird.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've seen this video before about 10 years ago, so it's not new. This has been floating around for quite a long time now, actually.
Look, we always knew that Hollywood has dark places, right? We all know that in Hollywood there has been a lot of exploitation going on. But I just find it quite disturbing and actually quite cheeky of people like Demi Moore, who will now come out now and has all of these causes when they've been behaving like this behind the scene. Now, I know you said you've seen this footage before. That's the first time I've seen that. What's weird and creepy about that is there's a lot of adults in the room, right? Now, there's that kid, but there was another kid there as well. Then he spoke about how he loved them and they loved him. And then you have that weird woman then singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow in the middle of, I mean, it
was his birthday, wasn't it? I think.
I don't
yeah.
know what it was.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug. This kind of thing. Yes, it's a bit inconvenient for her, isn't it? This is still floating around after all these years.
Well, it's coming out.
It's not new. And when you look at her predilections since that video, I mean, you can. Well, didn't she go out with a
Ashton Kutcher? Yeah, how old was he? Ashton Kutcher. When it makes sense now, man. I'm telling. Look, Hollywood is sick. We know it's been sick for a long time. But what kind of rubs me up the wrong way is the same people that were doing this disgusting stuff were the ones that are preaching to us now and wanting people to be cancelled for less of what they done. There's also a photograph of Stephen Hawking on that island. And you know what island I'm talking about. I don't want to mention the scumbag's name, but he's not around anymore. But there's a photograph of floating about on Twitter of Stephen Hawking on this island. I mean, we're starting to see a lot of stuff coming. You know what they say about storage eventually rises to the top, or shit rises to the surface. We're seeing this slowly but surely. All of this Pizzagate stuff that has been mentioned, it is definitely still going on anyway, for starters, but this has been going on a long time in Hollywood, and the amount of, I mean, we've heard of all the child actors that have come out and spoke up. There clearly is a sickness in Hollywood, Lee. I mean, I'm going to ask you this actually, in the age of cancellation, should Demi have to pay some consequences for doing something like that, or should it be thought of, well, it was of its time, that kind of behavior was tolerated back then, which I don't think it should have been, in personally speaking. What should happen here? I mean, I do find it quite ironic that this woman has come out in recent years and speaking up about all of these other things that all of these other celebrities have been speaking up about. Should she face consequences for that? Because I guarantee you, if that was, say, a 19-year-old, say, I'll just use him as an example, Johnny Depp, and that was a 9-year-old girl, there'd be a completely different reaction to it.
There is a double standard. There absolutely is a double standard. Again, I don't know, because you can't really seem to get the results that you want, from any of the stuff that goes on in Hollywood. It is a closed shop. They close ranks, and they always have, and they always will. It depends on who her connections are. I wasn't aware that this has come to light again recently, but I did know about it about at least 10 years ago, if not longer. yeah, I mean, you can't, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? So surely that works. It seems to me that, as I say, there is a double standard there. Not saying that it shouldn't be looked at. Are there other things that could have gone on? I don't know. Is it
Well, I
worth
mean,
investigating?
if she's
perhaps?
doing that, right? If she's doing that, and it doesn't matter what the circumstances is, whether it is a birthday party or whoever that child was related to.
No, I mean, it was
It's a-
completely out of order. I mean,
Right,
and
it's
to
out
do
of
it so
order.
spectacularly in public in such a way. And, I mean, I'm sure there might be some young guys out there, well, I wish that was me. I mean, you hear
Well,
a
there
lot
was in the comments.
you hear
and
about young lads at school saying, they fancied their teacher and stuff like that. But when it actually happens, you're still taking. He looked very uncomfortable, and you're taking away his agency as a young child in adolescence. He's kind of having that agency. That was put upon him in public. That is controlling behavior. That is abusive behavior because it's controlling behavior. He didn't consent to that, and and you can say, well, he's obviously under the age, so therefore he can't really give consent.
Someone in that comment section of that video actually did try to blame the young lad, and I was like, well, Demi's, tried to blame the young lad. Demi's the adult here, right? Yeah. And you are right. There were a couple of people that also wrote in the comments, well, I wish that was me. Well done, him. But we shouldn't be really saying that either. It's a kid. And she didn't kiss him like a kid, right? Look at that kiss again. I mean, it's disgusting. She's literally kissing her as if he was an adult, a 19-year-old boy at the same age as her. It's absolutely disgusting. And there is a double standard because I guarantee if that was an actor and it was a young girl, it'd be a completely different reaction altogether. That actor would probably be locked up in prison right now. So why is there a double standard when they talk about equal rights and stuff like this and having the same rights as men, but yet when they go and do something like this, then they want to be treated differently? I've noticed something, one thing about Twitter since Elon has took over. I am seeing a lot more of these accounts that are leaking all of these sort of video footage or putting these video footage back in the public eye again. Maybe they've been, as you said, you seen that years ago. That's the first time I've seen that. So, I mean, there is someone that there's definitely accounts out there whose jobs seem to be to put these clips out there to show people the behavior of these actors and actresses in the past and as I said, to expose them. There's actually another bit of footage as well from Raiders of the Lost Ark, from the Temple of Doom. And let me set this up for you. So we've got Barbara Streisand in dominatrix gear, whipping Harrison Ford, and then Carrie Fisher comes in to rescue him. Now, as you know, Carrie Fisher wasn't actually in the Temple of Doom. So my whole point to this was, well, why the hell were they doing all of this dominatrix stuff on the Temple of Doom? And let me point out that the Temple of Doom is the one with all the kids in it. Do you remember? The slave kids. So I'm going to show you some rare footage. This was put up by Spence Todd, and I'll just read out what it says here. Insanely rare footage from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Barbara Streisand is dressed up as a dominatrix to whip Harrison Ford. Carrie Fisher enters as a guard to save him, and the Empire Strikes Back director, Irving Kissinger, calls cut to give them all notes. This is insane. And the notes are basically, he says he wants to believe what they're doing. But as you know, these never appeared in the movie. Now, Harrison Ford did get whipped in the movie, as you know, but Carrie Fisher wasn't in the movie. And I'm pretty sure Barbara feckin' Streisand wasn't in Indiana Jones.
This would have been for some TV thing as a promotional thing.
I don't know what this was for, but I just want to show you it. Now, it's it's very bad footage because it's from back in the day. This is not as clear as the
This would have
Demi
been
Moore.
taped off the telly. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
this was definitely, yeah, you're right. This is like it's been recorded several times on the tape. You know when you keep recording, the tape degrades, and that's what this is. But this is 1:04. Now you can make out Barbara Streisand. You can see that she is wearing dominatrix gear, but because the color and the quality of the video is not great, you can't really see it in great detail. But you can definitely see Harrison Ford's face, and you see Carrie Fisher running in. But I'll just play this and let me know what you think. So that's Barbara there she is. There's Harrison.
I'm just saying that Barbara Streisand, a Jew, is playing a Nazi. You can hear laughter. It's Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
Bit kinky. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, again, it just highlights the weirdness. Maybe it was because we were young. I don't know. Maybe it was because I was young and I was oblivious to all of this. But looking back now as an adult, I'm actually kind of creeped out that this was going on, man. I mean, who was that in front of? I mean, was that in front of
it looked like
an
a live
audience?
studio audience, and it's obviously a special skit, something, I don't know. Might have been some like Saturday Night Live.
It may have been a skit because there's no context to it. But again, dominatrix gear, you know, it's right in front of our eyes. It was even happening back in the day. It's just, you know, even when I've looked at old movies, I'm like, Jesus, I wasn't even oblivious to that as a kid. You look at things in a different light when you're an adult, you know, even certain lines in movies as well. It's just, you don't pick those things up as a kid. But I don't know, man. Hollywood's always been strange. I mean, there's unsolved murder cases and all in Hollywood going back to the early 30s as well. There's that famous actress. Do you remember she was found on grass. I won't say what happened there, but basically things happened to her and then she was murdered. And, you know, there were several suspects, but nobody was ever charged or sent down for a murder. The same with George Reeves. There's a big conspiracy about him. Did he actually, you know, off himself, or was he murdered? And that's the whole point of Hollywoodland. If you haven't seen it, Ben Affleck actually plays Superman in it. There you go. There's something now, just in case anybody didn't know there. Ben Affleck has actually played Batman and Superman. Haha. And he's actually good as Superman, got to say. Even though it's just for the movie Hollywoodland. So go and check it out if you haven't. Apparently Steven Spielberg is, you know, PDF file. But I'll leave it at that. I get what you're saying. There's rumors about Tom Hanks as well. Actually, if it's true, a few months back, BBC put up a report. They had said that Tom Hanks had been arrested for you know what, and then apparently it was taken down, and then BBC denied that they actually put it up. But yeah, Tom Hanks was in handcuffs in the clothes that he was wearing, that people had photographed him in. So I don't know how it could have been a hoax, how you could hoax having someone's hands behind their back with handcuffs and a tag on them is something. But look, there's going to be a lot of Hollywood stars that we're going to be shocked about. And there's stuff going on in the UK at the moment as well. Very interesting, because there's been rumours about a certain celebrity that's on TV on a certain morning programme. His brother was sent down for that kind of behaviour, the one that Jimmy Savile got away with. And there's always been rumours about, this particular person, and it seems like the walls are closing in. I don't know. I think 2023 is going to be the year of a lot of shocking reveals, Lee. It seems to be that way. And as I said, it's a bit weird that since Elon's took over, that I'm seeing a lot of these videos come to the sort, and these Twitter accounts. Like, it's weird. Like, I mean, I'm seeing a lot more. And you know me, I'm into conspiracy theories galore. But when we were on it before, when the original people that were running Twitter were there, I'd never see stuff like that. Now all of a sudden it's all over the place. Like it's
well, you notice it more as an adult because it's it's adult humor, and I keep saying and God, that's so annoying. But it's something you do pick up on as you get like, it's like pantomime. You don't get all the salty jokes until you're older, and you go, oh God, that's double entendre. I didn't pick up on before. That's normal, but I mean, look, I think maybe in this case you might be sort of looking into it a bit too much. I think it's just a little bit of fun. I mean, you got you got Barbara Streisand as a leather-clad Nazi, so whipping Harrison Ford. I mean, it's you can't not make it a bit funny and a bit.
No, I get what you're saying about that clip, all right. I mean, it could be harmless. I'm just saying it is a bit weird, though. Like we have to say it is actually still a bit weird, especially if that was on TV when kids are watching. You know what I mean? You don't if it was shown at night time when the adults are watching the talk shows and stuff like that, then no problem at all. But it's just a bit weird that I'm seeing clips like this and the Demi Moore one just come to the surface a lot more now when I never know. You know what I mean? I either didn't notice it before or it just, it just flew over me head. But it's very interesting. But I reckon we're in the year of revelations, to be quite honest with you. I think there's going to be a lot.
Not in the biblical sense, I hope.
No.
That would be weird and annoying, maybe, because I got plans.
He's back again, is he?
He's back.
Christ, who do you think? That lunatic.
Oh,
the one that keeps harassing everybody.
Oh, it's a lunatic. Hey. Hello, lunatic.
You know who I'm talking about. That muppet that keeps making up accounts all the time because he's nothing better to do with his life. He's picking on Helen. Like he's got nothing better to bleed and do that chat. Anyway, we have actually covered all our topics tonight. So I'm going to play that little video that I promised you that Lee threw up before we get to if Lee has any recommendations, and then we'll wrap it up. I've actually got none this week because I'm still in the middle of watching the stuff that I said I was going to watch, and I haven't watched the latest episode of From yet. So I can't talk about that at the moment. But I will say if you haven't seen From, I would recommend that. That is my recommendation for this week. But I want to play this little video that Lee threw in our chat for us of this guy doing some funny stuff on screen. And Lee obviously shared the account. And I said, I'm going to give this a follow because, you
just know that here, folks. Any quality.
You need a laugh nowadays, and that's what we're going to try to do. As I said, I'm going to look out for more clips and stuff for next week and stuff. And if you come across any as well, ones that won't get us into trouble, because none of these will get us into trouble that we play tonight anyway. Try to get ones that don't have.
Walt Typer's got a question there for you as well.
Right, let's see. What's the question first before I put this video up? So the question is, everyone has been doing their favorite Doctor Who moments episodes recently. will you be doing that at some point next week? Well, we have been doing the Classic Who Zone. Oh, not Classic Who Zone. We have been doing New Who Zone. It's just on a break at the moment. But we have actually reviewed Series 1 up until we're on Peter Capaldi now. We're about to do Season 10. So I do the episodes each week, or we've just put it on hiatus for now. Because we're on Series 10 coming up, but there's plenty of New Who Zones on the channel there. So if there's any particular episode that you want to hear me opinion on, Charlotte's and Lee was there at a time when he didn't get fed up with New Who, but he does be there for Classic Who as well. So if you want to get our opinions on what we thought of those episodes, there's plenty of streams there already, folks. So as I said, Season 10 is on hiatus at the moment. We're starting Peter Capaldi's last season. I think I said at the end of August we were going to start that again. So we've already reviewed quite a lot of episodes, haven't we, Lee? And we've done Classic Who. I think we've done Classic Who so many times now that we put that on hiatus first, because we've literally done every story, I think, twice or three times now at this stage. Some even more than others, especially Unearthly Child. I think we've murdered that one. We've done that so many times. So there's plenty there, man. So you can go and check them out. Lee is on some of them, as I said, Queen Charlotte, and we do have other guests as well. PD, Real Super Doctor, used to show up. So there's plenty there, mate. You go and check them out if you haven't already. But I'll put this video up and then we'll let Lee do his recommendations. I have it ready to go and all. But thanks for the question. And not Brian says poor Gordon the Gopher. Yeah. I bet you Gordon the Gopher would have stories to tell. Maybe we should kidnap Gordon the Gopher. He's just a puppet. Anyway, Lee posted this in our little chat that we have with me and Chris, and we always like to post stuff, especially stuff like this as well. And then obviously we have private conversation as well, which I won't get into. But this guy, this is so bloody funny. I'll just let you watch it now. So here we go. Brilliant. Someone give him a medal, man. Tokyo 2020, man. No way. That's it. Oh, the knife one. Oh, he's got too much time on his hands.
The facial expressions.
I love the fact he puts the plastic on the floor so he doesn't wreck the.
That's kind of disturbing, but you know.
So again, that was from the Twitter account. Again, we'll give, because these are all funny, so we'll give these people a plug as well. It's Paul Alien 9 or Philip L4. Ah, Jesus, you know what I'll do? What am I even called now for? Here it is in the chat. Why don't I just do that in the first place anyway? That's ridiculous. There you go. There's the Twitter account if you want to check it out. Yeah, that has been Friday Night Contact. So we get into the part now where Lee likes to do his recommendations, because he gave out to me last week because I forgot. So I wasn't going to forget this week, because I didn't want them moaning at me. like a moan hole. But I'm pretty sure he has some cracking stuff to recommend, because he does recommend some cracking movies and TV shows. So, Lee, what have you got for us this week, my friend?
I would recommend the film Sisu. It's a good, crazy romp. I don't know if anyone knows about this film. It's a Finnish-made film. It's about this one guy who just is mining for gold in the middle of Finland, in Nazi-controlled Finland, and these Nazis go past by him and start giving him hassle, and they want his gold, and he's not going to give it to him. It's mental. It's really over the top. It's a budgeted movie, but it looks great. It's got some great moments in there. It's very violent, very gory. There is one sort of drawback with a sort of wham power moment in there, but other than that, it's just testosterone fueled egregious violence, and it's funny, it's powerful, it's bonkers, it's crazy, and it's mostly silent. It's not much talking in it, but it's really, really good. So there's that. Recommend. What else was it? Barry. It's got 2 episodes left to go for its final season. If you haven't watched Barry, please go and watch it. The first 2 series especially are fantastic. It's gone very strange on the last season, and I'm very curious, but it keeps you wanting more. There are like 30-minute episodes each. There's 8 episodes in a season, so it won't take you long to get through it, and it's well worth it.
Fantastic. And you forgot another one, because you plugged this last week, so I'm going to throw it up. I thought you were going to, so I was going to throw this up in anticipation, but you didn't, so I'll put it up for you. Silo.
Yeah, Silo. I'm kind of intrigued with that as well. I've been following that. I don't know if I've seen the last one or not now, but I'll have to catch up.
Yeah, so in a toxic dystopian future where a community exists in a giant silo, hundreds of stories deep underground, tens of thousands of people live in a society full of regulations they believe are meant to protect them. And that's the premise of the show. And he did mention that. But I have nothing really to recommend, because I haven't watched that new. The only new thing that I have actually watched are the 2 things: The Pope's Exorcist, which I already mentioned with Russell Crowe, and the Super Mario Brothers movie. I finally got around to watching. And can I just say, actually, because I want to end on a happy note, I have a soft spot for the Bob Hoskins movie, but as a Super Mario Brothers movie, it was an abomination, and it was the worst thing written. After Sonic the Hedgehog, I was kind of envious, because when I heard that Nintendo and Illumination were thinking of doing a Super Mario Brothers movie, and when I heard it was going to be animated, my heart kind of sunk a little bit. But then I saw the trailer like everybody else, and yes, Chris Pratt seemed to be a problem for us all at the time. But let me just tell you something. I'm a Super Mario fan all my life. This movie was everything that I expected it to be, but more. This movie had heart. This movie. Oh, by the way, the Peaches song. I finally got why everybody was ranting and raving about that, and saying it was brilliant. It was absolutely fantastic. Listen, I loved it. There was Donkey Kong for me as well. Super Mario and Donkey Kong doing their thing. just brilliant, man. I loved everything about the movie, and then the end, and obviously the little cutscene, and Yoshi, obviously is going to be there for the second one. If you haven't seen it by now, it's your own fault. I just gave away a major spoiler there, but sorry, it's your own fault if you haven't seen it now. It's out long enough. But this movie was seriously, I wasn't expecting to have as much fun as I did with it. Cheryl actually didn't watch it with me because she was in the middle of watching, I think that Queen Charlotte rubbish. But she's into Bridgerton, so like she watched that Queen Charlotte rubbish. But she could hear me laughing and giggling and all, and she said to me, "So did you enjoy the movie?" I go, "Man, I loved it. I had a big smile on my face all day." So if you haven't seen it, sorry for spoiling the end, but it's not much of an end. If you didn't know Yoshi was gonna make an appearance because he didn't make an appearance in the movie, then then you're not a Super Mario fan. But this was seriously. I love this. Lee, have you seen it yet?
What?
The Super Mario Brothers movie. Jesus, I've been talking about for 5 minutes.
Why would I be watching that? I don't even play video games. You know,
It doesn't matter. It's a bleeding animation. You like it?
No, like I'd watch. The Hedgehog thing. My brain's gone.
Well, hang on. Right, so you'll watch Sonic the Hedgehog, but that's a game. You won't watch Super Mario because that's a game also.
Yeah.
I mean, no. Listen, if you're going to give Sonic the Hedgehog respect, then I demand. The difference is Super Mario respect and watch Super Mario.
The difference is it came with really good good reviews. Like the Nintendo thing just sounded like all the things rammed into a film, and it's all full of Nintendo things. I'm just not interested. I'm sorry. I'm not. Why am I interested in cartoon Italian plumber? I'm not interested. Blue Hedgehog's different story. I'm sorry.
Can't be
They're cute.
They're cute. Doesn't like Super Mario. I'm sorry. I'm devastated now. Can't believe you said that. Here's
a kilogram of copium. Off you go.
Go and watch the movie. Oh, we're not going to be friends anymore. I'm only messing. Look, it's your choice, but I think you are missing out. And I don't think you should listen to reviews anymore, to be quite honest with you. I think people should go and check these things out for themselves rather than listen to other people, And I know I've told you it's good, but at the end of the day, you won't know unless you watched it yourself. But I would. You say you ask for recommendations, right? You haven't seen it. That's what I would recommend to you. And I don't know if anybody in the chat can back me up on this and has seen this movie. But if you have, can you leave a little comment there and encourage Lee to watch the Super Mario Brothers movie and tell him that it's more than just stuff rammed in. Come on, back me up on this, folks. Back me up on this one. Anyway, no, it is good. But look, if you don't watch it, you don't watch it. But I think you are missing out. You don't have to be a Super Mario fan. It's a quite enjoyable movie and it has some really funny moments. It is. It's good. But I'll leave it there. I don't want to push it too much now. I'm just disappointed that you gave Sonic the Hedgehog a go, but give Super Mario a go. But I'll forgive you in time. Just right now, I can't. Anyway, that's us wrapped up for this week. So I want to thank everybody in the chat that came in to support us tonight. And we've seen a couple of new faces in the chat as well. Welcome and thank you for showing support. We're here every Friday night at 9:00, where we'll be covering all things Hollywood, but we mightn't be covering all things Hollywood soon because Hollywood could disappear. Well, it probably won't, but that'd be wishful thinking. Actually, no, why would we want it to go away? Because then we'd have nothing to talk about. But it's getting to that stage if they don't up their game. But it's a very interesting time in Hollywood land, as they used to call it. But as I said, thank you everybody that supported myself and Lee tonight. We're going to do our usual shout outs. So, Lee, if you want to also plug anybody as well as yourself.
Well,
now
I'm actually going off Twitter at midnight tonight anyway because I need a break from the
I
insanity.
know you do. I don't
Yeah.
know why you keep subjecting yourself to it, mate.
Because you have to. You
I
can't just
know
sit on
you
your-
do.
You can't
and
sit
I
on your
agree.
hands.
I know. I agree with you 100%. But what you're getting it from 3 different avenues, man.
I don't care. It's got to be done.
I know you don't, but it's obviously affecting you.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's why I think it's incumbent upon anybody who's got a social media presence just to take a step back occasionally.
That's it. Just take a break, and you be the odd time you're fine. Yeah, recharge your batteries.
Absolutely. But when I do come back, which may be in a week, maybe 2 weeks, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Then again, it's bloody Pride Month coming up, so I might be off for a month. I can't deal with it.
No.
I know, right? I call it arrogance. I call it arrogance now.
Man, it used to be a week in June, right? And it
No,
was
it used to be a day in June.
Yeah, a day in June. Sorry, then it turned into a week.
A day. In 1995, when I went to Pride, it was a day.
Yeah.
And now it's like a month, and then you got all these other days throughout the year.
Yeah, but it's not a month. It's not a month anymore now. It's going to be a yearly thing the way they're
year
going
round.
on.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the whole point. Anyway, that aside, you can follow me on TwitTwats at The Problem Being. If you're going to add me now. Because my account's going to look like it's not there anymore for a while, but I will be back.
I'll put it in the chat now while you're doing that.
And my alternative channel is at Audred, Audred. You can find my VFX stuff on there. I'm still that's just another reason why I need to take breaks, because I'm working on stuff I need to finish. So there's that. Please check out all the others. Check out the Rabbi from Another Planet, Jack Main's channel, Drawing Jack Rabbit. Go and check out Daniel Leach, the Scottish Davros. Go and check out his channel. Go and check out the Brown Alliance. I might be on there on Sunday when we do our end of week musings on that channel. And not Brian, who's in the chat, might also be there. Who knows? So yeah.
Fantastic. I'll put his Twitter account in there. Everybody, I'm going to put mine in as well, because I never really do. I know PD normally does, but PD took a night off because I don't know what he wants me to say, but just something came up. I don't know if he said it to you in the chat. But just we thoughts are with PD and his family at the moment. And hopefully he'll be back with us soon. But as I said, he couldn't join us tonight, which is understandable. We will see you soon, pal. So look after yourself. What else am I putting up? Do you want me to put your Instagram up, Lee?
Yeah, you can do that.
I mean, we'll put up our Instagrams as well, I suppose.
Yeah,
I don't really.
Alternative.
Yeah, I mean, Instagram is dead, but if you just want to go on and follow us on Instagram, you might catch. Well, I do throw up some shit on Instagram, but nobody bothers actually going in, so I just throw it up anyway, just to have something on it. But there's whose Instagram is that? That's Leah's Instagram, and then mine, which is this, I think. Yeah, I'm doing it right, am I? Yes. There you go. Actually, why has mine come up that way and yours has come up that way? Hold on, I might have done it wrong. Yeah, if someone can remove that, because you are a mod, if someone can remove the first link that I threw up of Leah's there, I think I put it up wrong. And I'll just put up the right one. So there we go. Do that. Man, it's stupid how you can't search the names on.
It's not letting me do anything. I can't. No one can delete it, but you can.
Only me. Right. I'll do it now. So just bear with me for a second, because it's stupid. You know the way you can type in on Twitter to find a person. Yeah, I literally have to scroll all the way down to find him. And because he's one of the first people I followed when I went onto Instagram, I bet you he's right down the bottom of the feckin' list. Hold on, I'll do it this way because that's fucking stupid. You know me and technology, lads. I'm bleeding awful. Where is he? There he is. Haha! We found him. Now, there we go. And he has some of his artwork up on his Instagram account as well, just in case you want to go in. As I said, give him a follow there. So there it is. There's the proper Instagram account. Sorry about that, and I will just remove that other link now because of my stupidity. But yeah, it's this week has flown in, but it's been a bit of a tiring one, I have to say. Don't know what it is. Has anybody noticed, actually, just before we click off for tonight, has anybody noticed that the back of their nose, mad shit going on with the back of your nose? I've noticed the chemtrailing a lot outside, and the back of
I
my
am
nose.
constantly getting blocked lately, I have to say. It might just be hay fever.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man.
But then again, I take antihistamines every day anyway because I have urticaria, so that's something else. But yeah, considering I take antihistamines every day, I really shouldn't even be getting a blocked
It's weird,
nose.
isn't it?
Yeah, don't know.
Weird.
I don't have any allergies, Cam. That's the thing.
And that's the thing. I don't get them either. I don't suffer with hay fever or any of that stuff. Like I never do. But yeah, the back of, and it's always one nostril. It's always the left bloody nostril, man. It's weird. It's that you know that I actually think you do. You know the difference between hay fever and what's happening. It's like as if there's something in the back of my nose, but there's nothing actually there, and then it's dry as hell. And it's every time I look out, I see those fucking chemtrails across the sky. I'm telling you, man, they're putting something in the atmosphere, and the people can call me a mad conspiracy theorist all they want.
Well, I'll tell you a story. I came back once from a night out, sat in my I can't remember if it was my garden or a friend's garden, whatever. It was a garden. It was morning. It was a sunny summer day. I mean, the sun was out. It was really hot, and we just sat out in the garden. And I watched as these planes went up, crisscrossing across the sky, really high up in the atmosphere, leaving these trails behind them. And then gradually over time, they didn't go away. Vapor trails dissipate almost within seconds, but these hung around, and not only hung around high up in the atmosphere, they're just like expanding and expanding. And because they were all crisscrossed, they just expanded into one another, and they just created this big cloud, and it got darker and darker and darker, and then it started to rain. That happened. I saw it with my own bloody eyes. So that's not a conspiracy theory. No. That is real. I saw it. You can't tell me otherwise. And you can't tell me it's a coincidence that these planes created these jets which formed clouds that turned into rain clouds and rained. That happened.
Yeah.
I know it happened because I bloody saw it. It always annoys me when people think, "Oh, it's conspiracy." It's like, well, just because you haven't seen it, or you're too busy looking at your own navel to look up. I looked up, and I spent all bloody morning looking up, watching all this going on in real time, and I don't know. It looks like weather modification to me. If you make clouds and it starts to rain on a hot summer's day, because planes put the shit in the atmosphere to do, then it's happening. Okay, what they put in there, I don't know, but reports are there's aluminium and all sorts of things. So I don't know.
Borium, the mad thing about this whole situation is they talk about places around the world where there's drought and all and stuff, and they could easily do what they do here in countries that already get rain. This is the thing I don't get. The chemtrail in Ireland and the UK, literally two of the wettest places on the planet, we get a lot of rain. Like, we don't need weather manipulation technology here. what you should be, listen, I don't agree with it anyway, because as you said, they're putting all sorts in it. But I mean, if you really want to use it and help places, then help places where there's drought, where they need rain. You know what I mean? And so I just don't get it. But like, listen, I'm saying it out straight, man. You used to get slagged off for stuff like this, people telling you that you're a conspiracy theorist. You know, it's happening. Look up at the sky, you see it with your own 2 eyes, just like Lee did. It's there, it is happening. These planes are literally crisscrossing each other, right? And you see it. It's so blatant, the difference between a flight that's actually flying out and going somewhere to these planes. And it's literally the same. And I've always noticed as well, these planes are always, there's no markings on these planes. You can't identify.
Well, they're so high up, you can't even see.
Yeah, you can't see what they are. Yeah, they're even higher than the commercial flights. They're up higher. And I've always noticed as well, they always seem to cover the path of where they think the moon is going to go and where the sun is going to go. They're always determined to block out the sun and to block out the moon for some weird reason, right? When they do this as well, especially when they do it at night time. You should see it when they do it at night time. It's freaky, right? It'll be clear as a daytime, but at night time. And then they're going across the sky, and then before you know it, as Lee says, there's clouds, right? They always seem to go over the moon. And I'm like, what are they hiding? Especially in Ireland, I do see it. What are they hiding? What am I not supposed to see on the moon? Because it's always there. But we got a new member, and Nicholas Horton has become a member.
Hey, well done.
Welcome
you
to the
crazy Stu.
We do have our previews every Friday now. We've moved it to Fridays because it makes more sense to move it to Friday. So we have our member streams on Friday, which is the preview of what we're going to do tonight, where I just cover 1 or 2 of the articles. But today we did an Indiana Jones 5 special where I gave me opinion on that. So if you haven't checked that out and you want to hear me go into more detail on Indiana Jones 5, you can watch that member stream there now, Nicholas. They're all there available for you. You can go and check them out. But listen, thank you all for joining us. Thank you again to Nicholas for becoming a member. Thanks to all the mods for keeping the chat safe for everybody. We didn't have Chris here tonight because Chris was doing some repairs on a gate. I think he came in to pop in to say hello. And then he was he was fixing the fence. Because we normally have Chris here every night, as you know, when we stream. So so shout out to Chris and, as I said, PD as well. And I want to thank me co-host as usual for being here and covering these topics. And we will see you all next Friday for Friday Night Contact. I'll say good night now. So good night, and I better get rid of the banner there. So there we go. We're officially going now. So I'll say good night. Lee, any last words?
Yes.
What are they?
That was it.
Okay, his last word was yes. So he means good night. So I'll say good night on his behalf. So it's good night from me and Lee. And or Lee and I, whatever, which way you want to.
Grammatically, it's Lee and I, but
exactly. Or
informal, whatever, blah blah blah.
Whatever. But thanks for joining us. But you can feck off now. Go to sleep. Do
whatever. We've had your money, feck off.
And we will talk to you all on Monday anyway. So enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Look after yourselves. And good night.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye. There shall be